All right, Ben Parker, CardinalSportsReport.com here with Stanford wide receiver coach Tyler Osborne. So first of all, just talk about your group as a whole. How do you feel they're looking?
Yeah, the group's getting better and better every day. Definitely the group, I think, has improved a ton since the spring. They worked really hard over the summer and been really pleased with the progress so far in fall camp. And a lot of guys making plays every day, and there's some really good competition going on in the group. And obviously got quite a bit of fall camp left, but really excited where the group's headed.
What are the main points of emphasis you have for your group right now at this stage of camp?
Yeah, releases was kind of the main point of emphasis, I would say, when we kind of got started. I think they're doing a much better job in that area. Route breaks, just trying to get separation at the top of routes, and just overall, just continuing to strain and work with kind of the pace of the offense and the tempo that we play at. And so they've been doing a really good job with that.
One of the things I've heard from guys is the tempo is much faster than what they're used to. What have you been doing as a wide receiver coach to help your unit adjust to that side of things?
Yeah, I think it really just starts with how we play. I think that the pace that we practice in is kind of the thing that will just naturally make guys in great shape and be able to understand how to play at that type of tempo and that pace. Obviously, our strength and conditioning staff does an incredible job with these guys, when we're not practicing. So in those times of years when we're not able to practice and get out there on the field with them, they do a really good job training them and developing them. And, I think it's been really good, and those guys have kind of taken a liking, I think, to the pace of play, and we get a few more plays in there. And at the end of the day, I think they're adjusting well to it, and just by the way that we practice is the way that they're able to kind of adjust to it, I think.
Talk about John Humphreys, who's invited to media day. Just what's he brought to your room so far in camp, and just how huge is it to have a veteran guy like that in the room in your first year here?
Yeah, it's awesome to have a guy like John. He's a really big leader, not only in my position with the wideouts, but really on the team in general. And he's just a guy that you can count on. He's steady, he's consistent. He made a lot of, getting into a little bit of his play, he made a lot of plays today. Was definitely winning some contested catches, and not only on the vertical game, but also just just understanding the space and zones and what we're doing on offense and finding the open windows, and just a really steady, consistent guy that we can count on, both as a leader, but then also as a player on the field too.
Yeah, and also talk about too, Elikai Minor obviously coming back from injury, but just one of the fastest guys on the team I've heard. Just talk about his speed and what kind of weapon he could be for you guys.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job since he came back. Obviously didn't get the luxury to work with him in the spring, and even kind of throughout the summer was still kind of recovering from an injury that he had. And so he's done a really good job. And this fall camp so far, he's been making a lot of plays, and I can tell every day he's getting a little bit more comfortable. Not only with kind of recovering from the injury, but really the offense. Because he missed a lot of reps in spring ball, but an explosive kid, very smart, loves the game of football. His drive and work ethic in terms of like how much he studies film and the extra work that he puts out here on the field is second to none. And so another guy that you can kind of look at as a leader in that room, even though he's a young guy. So, just
in general, like what is your favorite part about the offense you guys run? I hear it's exciting, more space. Just what do you most enjoy about the offense that you guys are trying to install here?
Yeah, I think it all starts, without getting into too many details of the whole thing and giving you too long of an answer, it all starts with the ability to be explosive on every play. So we're going to take advantage of what the defense is giving us. So in the pass game specifically, we're going to have our guys, they're going to have to do more than just one thing in terms of their route tree on a certain concept most of the time. And so we take advantage of a lot of the space and kind of whatever kind of areas of the field the defense is kind of giving us from a coverage standpoint. And so I think that it always starts with the ability to be explosive, right? And then, we obviously have different things that we can do to adjust our routes and change where we're working our concepts in space too. And so at the end of the day, I think that's something that is really unique, but also is really fun to be a part of, because we always got a chance to make an explosive play, which explosive plays help an offense score a lot of points and help the team win a lot of games.
Talk about the quarterback situation. Just what's it like working with different quarterbacks? What have you seen from them, and what are any challenges with guys working with multiple quarterbacks at once, or just talk about that kind of dynamic from a receiver standpoint?
Yeah, no, all those guys are doing a really good job from top to bottom. I think at the end of the day, a lot of those guys, they haven't really played a ton in college games specifically, and there's a lot of talent in that room. And so those guys are getting better and better every day with reps. And I think, we get a lot of reps just by the way that we practice and the pace we practice at. And, the wideouts are getting mixed in with all of them, So the quarterback that might go out there with the first group, in one period, he might have a completely different set of receivers the next time he goes out there. So all these receivers are getting a lot of work with all the QBs. And I think we're definitely starting to get a rhythm down.
A couple more questions for you. First of all, just talk about how did you become a wide receiver? Did you play wide receiver in high school, college? Just talk about how did you become how did wide receiver coach become your thing?
Yeah, played receiver a little bit, also a little bit of quarterback and defensive back, and just naturally with kind of the position that opened up, and I had an opportunity to interview for at Sacramento State under Coach Taylor was for the receivers, and so I'd kind of worked with quarterbacks, a few more years than I had receivers initially. During my time at some previous stops, and so, but definitely had a good mix of experience with both positions. And I really love the receiver position itself. I think it's a very competitive position. I love, obviously we can get man coverage, and it truly just turns down to who can win their one-on-ones and who's got better technique. And so I love the position, and I kind of just, I don't want to say fell into it, but it was the opening that I had a chance to interview for, and I've loved it since I've been a part of it.
Final question for you, just what have you most enjoyed about being here at Stanford so far?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Really good question. I would just say the people from the staff that you interact with that have already been here at Stanford for a long time, in terms of the administration, to all the players. I mean, the players here are unbelievable. The ability to work with these type of kids that are very mature, always on top of their stuff. And these kids work really, really hard. And for me as a coach, that's something I can, I really appreciate is guys that are on top of their stuff every day. They're really accountable, but they want to be the best in everything they can do. And for me, that's pretty cool. And so I've really enjoyed that. I mean, there's a million things I could say, but that's probably the main one is just the people I get to work with every day.